On the morning of Saturday, February 28, 2004, 4-year-old Amanda Kanowitz developed a cough and a mild fever. The next morning, she began vomiting, but appeared to have nothing more than a typical virus. Just a few hours later, Amanda's parents found her lifeless in her bed, lost her to influenza. By the time Jackson Abelahan turned 5 years old, he started having seizures, and it only worsened from there. He lost the ability to swallow, speak, and walk. A few years later, Jackson died of the measles virus. To this day, their families regret refusing to get vaccinated. This led them to establish foundations that focus on providing information about vaccines and providing vaccines, especially to those who are vulnerable and cannot cover the cost, hoping to speak out to the families that no parent should ever go through losing a child if they could have prevented it in the first place. Today I'm going to be talking about the power of vaccines and the negative effects it can bring to people who refuse to get vaccinated. A vaccine is a substance that prepares our body against several diseases. Now let's look at vaccine in a scientific perspective. In order to learn how vaccines work, we must first look into how our immune system reacts to invading pathogens. So when invading pathogens enter our body, it reacts with our body's line of defenses. Our body produces antibodies that destroy it. Our body then leaves a memory to react faster when the same pathogen attacks us. It is produced so quickly that no signs would be visible upon re-exposure to the same pathogen, and this we call as immunity. Now, a vaccine is an altered form of the pathogen. It's introduced to the body to trigger antibodies for a fast response whenever it's exposed to the real one. This way the body is prepped and immunity is developed. Vaccines have been studied and thoroughly researched since 1796 by brilliant doctors and scientists, and continues to be the #1 most effective preventive system there is. The vaccine's risk to benefit ratio is incalculable. Over 20,000 children died from vehicular accidents in 2018, and in the same year, not a single child presented adverse reactions to vaccination. Instead, that year, when a measles outbreak happened, it saved over 3 million lives. When choosing to get vaccinated, not only does it benefit the individual, but also the people around him or her. When enough people get vaccinated, the whole community is prevented from the disease. This is called the herd immunity phenomenon. This is possible because a pathogen cannot spread without a sufficient number of vulnerable hosts. When choosing not to get vaccinated, then you put your life at risk and the people around you. Vaccine hesitancy is a threat to the future. Infectious diseases are threatening enough, but this adds a whole new impactful threat to public health. If more and more people refuse to get vaccinated, then more and more lives are at stake. Fear and danger are what's to come. Infectious diseases are unpredictable, so take the chance to protect you and your family. Finally, we can see a vaccine's mechanism, the science behind it, how it works, its effectivity, and the negative effects if one refuses to vaccinate. Vaccines are proven to be safe by the millions of lives it has saved. It has been developed by science in the most effective way possible. Vaccines can protect you and your family against infectious diseases. Danger, fear, perhaps regret will bring those who refuse to vaccinate. Given all this information, the development, the mechanisms, and the real-life stories of families losing their loved ones, perhaps one is to change her views on the effectiveness of vaccines. It's time to change yours too.